Brothers and sisters, welcome to our today's program of NJO LEO, or again, today is the day of the 17th of October 2018. My name is Odon Bulamba. I'm the presenter of this program, and I'll be with you for the next 15 to 20 minutes to tell you, to update you with the situations that Congo has been going through. So let us go to our headlines. Ebola in the DRC. The World Health Organization convenes Emergency Committee on International Health Regulations. This Wednesday was the 17th of October in Geneva. An emergency committee on the international health regulation of Ebola outbreak in Congo will meet to determine if there is a public health emergency internationally and what recommendations should be made to manage this epidemic. During a press conference held on Tuesday, 16th of October in Kinshasa, where Leila Zerugi, the head of the UN, United Nations Missions for Stabilization in the DRC, MONUSCO, said, I have neither a mandate nor the intention to meddle with a decision on the electoral process in the DRC. In Beni, where this Tuesday, 16th of October, during a meeting with the MONUSCO officials, religious leaders of Beni have recommended the Congolese army forces and MONUSCO army forces to do a mixed patrols in and around the city of Beni in order to protect the populations against the alleged ADF attacks. And finally, the opposition announces a rally on November the 3rd in Boma in Congo Central. So these are the headlines of our news, and now we have to go to the development. But at the end of the news, I'll just pick up a small portion on the intervention of Leila about the elections in the Congo. Be with me for a moment, please. This Wednesday, October 17, in Geneva, an emergency committee on international health regulations on Ebola outbreak in Northeast Democratic Republic of Congo will meet to determine if there is a public health emergency internationally and what recommendations should be made to manage this epidemic. The Ebola outbreak in the provinces of North Kivu and Ituri has surpassed 200 cases and 100 deaths. 211 cases on hemorrhagic fever have been reported in the region, of which 176 are confirmed, while 35 are possibly affected. During a press conference held on Tuesday, 16th of October in Kinshasa, Ms. Leila Zerugi, the head of the UN Mission for Stabilization in the DRC, MONUSCO, said, I have neither a mandate nor the intention to meddle in a decision that can only belong to the stakeholders with regard to the electoral process in DRC. During her declaration, she also said, Kabila has been very clear with the Security Council. The elections will be held on December 23rd. It is not enough to go to the election, she said. It is to go to the peaceful elections where everyone recognizes what you want is to allow the DRC to move forward in this process, to move toward more stability, to focus on its development, she added. Although MONUSCO as authorities, although the Congolese authorities have rejected MONUSCO's logistical support and the financial support of the election by its external partners, MONUSCO still is ready to act. They are ready to participate and help. But a question was asked to Leila, what would happen on December 23rd if there are no elections in the DRC? And her answer was, if December 23rd, if on the 23rd of December there is no election, I hope that the stakeholders have already agreed on why and what to do instead. That is the most important, that why people have to talk to each other, agree, say a minimum of truth, and they move forward. Meaning that for that reason, people have to talk to each other and telling each other at least some truth and then move forward. She added again, that's why I'm talking about a minimum of consensus, because we cannot be 100% in agreement when we are political opponents. What we want is for them to agree on the minimum that allow these elections to be credible and proceed without major challenges, she insisted. She was asked also about the Ebola and ADF in the Congo, and her answer was, like ADF armed group makes the struggle more difficult. And she said, going to war with a group in the bush and going out when you least expect is not easy. There is a really difficulty. For example, the ADF's technique is to work with women and children. It's very difficult to deal with this kind of technique. We work, but it's not easy. For example, if you have people who married their daughters to these people, you have to have the information to be operational and effective. There are many difficulties. Ebola, armed groups, there are economic interests that are beyond the control of the state, but we do not give up, she highlighted. We are going to go to another point, which is another interesting point, where in Beni, leaders for mixed patrols, leaders proposed a mixed patrol between a FARDC or Congolese army and MONUSCO. That was on Tuesday, 16th of October, during a meeting with MONUSCO officials. Religious leaders of Beni have recommended the Congolese armed forces and MONUSCO to do the mixed patrols in and around the city of Beni to protect the populations against alleged ADF attacks. The president of this consortium, Bishop January Baraka, reported, the people of Beni are experiencing fear every day, and we want security to be restored. We even asked for an international investigation so that we really know who kills in Beni. We want there to be a mixed Congolese armed forces and MONUSCO patrols all around Beni and even inside the city of Beni, and that the police also do their job. In hotspot, there should always be the presence of MONUSCO and Congolese forces patrolling. Another point is that, I will go a little bit back, another point is that was said by Leila. It was also the situation of the repressed people who are actually based in Kamako. Leila fears that repressed Congolese from Angola may be a target of Banamura and Kamwina Sampu armed group in the Kasai regions. And she said, we are not very present in Kamako, but we still sent a human rights team. We have our soldiers who have been deployed in the area. There is also a humanitarian team despite the lack of money, she added. And of course, there is a lack of money, and we have been talking about it. And for those who want to assist, those who want to participate, those who want to contribute, for the people of Angola, for those of Beni, today, by the end of the day, we will add a page on our website that you can go and put some money in it, and that money can be sent to those people. And it will be just, you know, open to everyone to see how much every single person has deposited, so we can know exactly how much we receive for transparency, and then we can send it to those people. Thank you in advance for your contribution. Finally, we'll go to the opposition. The political opposition group of the Congo plans a rally on Saturday, November the 3rd, in the municipality of Kalamu in Boma City, Congo Central. This opposition is seeking the safety of people and their property during the meeting scheduled from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. local time. The purpose of this meeting is to demand or to request the holding of credible elections by refusing the use of the voting machine, and also the cleaning of the electoral roll. Last weekend, remember, a political mourning of the opposition was cancelled by the city council because the city council of Lubumbashi and in Okatanga, after allowing them 3 days earlier. And that's because the decision came from one of the authorities somewhere there, and things were changed. We hope that the meeting which will be held in Boma will go successful and will be really successful for the interest of the Congolese nation. So let us go now quickly to our daily analyze, which will be a short one, and I will just comment a little bit on Leila's declaration on the election in the Congo. So during that process, during that press conference that she had on yesterday in Kinshasa, she mentioned something very interesting. And she said, Kabila was clear with the Security Council by telling them that the elections will be held on December 23rd. And for her, she said, it is not enough just to go to the election. It's not just a matter of going to the elections. And this message is addressed not only to Kabila and the opponents, the opposition members, but it's all addressed to us, because we the people are the really opposition. And he's telling us you can go to the elections, that's fine, but it shouldn't be just the election, you know? You understand? Truly, in the Congo, they have been organizing the election. If that election will be successful, and of course, many people will go to vote, but that vote won't be called election according to me. Why? Because we know from the start, everything has been tricked. Every single item has been tricked in this election. The campaigning is tricky, the voting machine is tricked, the process is tricked, the leaders are tricked, those who are like, you know, referees, Seni, is tricked. So who to trust? Should we really call it an election? Because it's an election without rules of law. Elections which do not respect its own rules. How should we call that an election? So that's where now Leila has been advising us we shouldn't just go to the election, because it's not enough to go just to the election, you know. The election must be recognized. Everybody must recognize that really we had a true election, so that our Congo can move forward in the right process of stability and development. And the shameful part is, many of our leaders, many of them on both sides, the opposition as well as those that we call the presidential majority, on both sides, all of them, or most of them, or even 95% of them want just to be given a position. They want a post, they want a job, they want to occupy a high-ranked job. That's all that they are after. They want someone want to be called just as a president, you know, to be called the president of the Congo tomorrow. Another one wants just to be recognized as a minister. And that's what most of them are fighting for. They are not really competing or fighting for the nation. And therefore, regardless of knowing that the elections that we are going to face is strict, for them, they don't care. They have been just saying, let us move forward and go to the election. And once we are there, maybe I'll have the chance to be picked up and to become also a minister. And someone told me, one of them even complained. He said, look, I've given my 100,000 US dollars to be a candidate for this election. How am I going to get my money back? So I have to fight for my money. So whatever position will be issued, given to me, I will take it. It is welcomed. Which means that such a person is not fighting for the nation, is fighting for his own interest, for his own benefit. That's why Leila has been opening his eyes to say, look, you should think about what type of election are you going to face. Be careful. Secundo, she carried on. Whenever she was asked if the elections will not be held on December the 23rd, what is going to happen? And she was clear. She said, look, both parties have already agreed on why and what should be done instead. Meaning that if the election would not take place on the 23rd, it won't just be, you know, come from the blue like that. It will be something that already the government, the illegal government of the Congo, and the opposition will sit down and agree on a few things. And after the agreement, then they will come out and say, look, we are not having the election, then we are going to embrace a new process. We are going to do something else instead. And that something else instead, we all know that it's what we are calling the government of transition. We have talked not only once, not only twice, we have already talked about this type of government of transition. We have said it already. And we heard from the Americans, from the USA, something happened there, whereas a suggestion was to have a government of transition with Kabila to be the president of the country for a couple of years, 2 years. And then a few ministries or a few departments will be given to the members of the opposition. And that's where now things are a little bit awkward. Things are not clear enough. As the lady said, Leila added, and said, like, that's why people should have to talk to each other. Agree, say at least a minimum of the truth. And the truth is not told to we, the population, to we, the people who are going to elect them. A minimum of truth, that's what we want. We have heard already about that government of transition. No one on the side of the government, illegal government of Kabila, have talked about it. No one from the opposition have talked about it. They try to keep it quiet and silent. Just telling us, let us go to the elections, let us move forward, and suddenly somewhere there they will tell us, look, we cannot make it anymore, so let us now have a transition, and because there is no time, we know how we'll play the game of Kabila, we will stop him, let us accept him to be at the head of the country, and I can become a prime minister, that one can become maybe a vice president, this one can take such ministry, and then we'll con him. Why don't you tell the people of the Congo the truth from the start? What game are you playing so far? You are leaders, and you are the leaders of a great nation, a big country. Why not to tell your people so far? Someone in the past told me, wrote to me by saying, look, you shouldn't tell your opponent, what are your tactics? There is no matter of tactics here. This is the life of a Congolese. This is the life of human being. And we don't have to play with them because they are not games. In games, you'll have tactics. But in life, in reality of politics, for leading, governing people, you have to be upfront and tell them, this is what is taking place. This is what it is happening. Even if you won't tell them at 100% everything, just a minimum of the truth is needed. And the Congolese people are expecting that, but for no avail. So this lady now, our sister Mrs. Leila, has been really not straight, telling us the Congolese to open your ears and eyes. These people are going to the election. The truth is not among them. That's the meaning of it, to cut it short. There is no truth among them. Katumbi will tell Jean-Pierre Bemba this. Jean-Pierre Bemba will tell Tshisekedi that. Tshisekedi will tell Kamere this. Kamere, and they will try to do those type of cycling around themselves. What they are saying in front of each other, it's not what they are reporting to their political parties. It is not what they are reporting to us, the population. And what they are telling us, it's not exactly what they are thinking. That way I say, most of them are liars, politicians in the Congo. Most of them, you know, are hypocrites. Most of them, they don't tell you the truth. They don't tell you exactly what they're thinking. They're telling you a different story. They want to tell you what your ears will be pleased to hear. And the truth will be kept somewhere there. And the next morning, it will be a shock to see them doing something contrary to what they promised. And that's why the lady said again, that's why I'm talking about a minimum of consensus, because we cannot be 100% in agreement with when we are political opponents. That's true. We know that they cannot be 100% in agreement, but they should at least do the minimum. Try to tell each other the truth. To understand that these elections are not for them. These elections are organized for the Congolese people. And all consequences of these elections won't be bared. They won't be borne by them. The people of the Congo will bear all the consequences. They are the one who will suffer. They are the one who will feel that heaviness of and seriousity of the negative outcome of these elections. So please take that into consideration. Of course, today you can do that government of transition, or someone will give you a post. You'll become maybe a minister of justice. And I want to be able to come every morning to knock on your door and ask you maybe to give me $5 to buy maybe wheat flour. And if you do it for me today, you won't do it tomorrow. And you won't even be able to do it for the entire nation. And furthermore, whenever you occupy a position, it's almost impossible to reach you. We all know that. Whenever you become a minister, you don't have access anymore to the people that you promised you'll serve. That's why my comment is today, we are going to the elections. Now it remains only 67 days. 10 weeks before we go to the elections. Do we know who is our candidate for the opposition? Are they waiting for 2 hours before the elections to tell us who is our candidate? Why to not trust your people? Why to not trust those who elect you? And some of them said, oh, look, if we tell you the candidate today, that candidate will be killed. And who told you that that candidate cannot die 5 minutes before the elections? Who protects who? Is it your secret that protects you? And even among the opposition leaders or opposition parties, we know very well there are also those that we call satellite, who have been informing Kabila and his team about everything that has been taking place in the opposition. Don't you know that? We do know it. So if you are hiding to the people to say, okay, we cannot tell you our candidate right now, while Kabila is already informed, Kabila who kills, Kabila who is a tyrann, why to inform him and you cannot inform us? Jean-Pierre Bemba even suggested we should have something like a program that will be used, a unified program. We are not even sure if that program has been made yet. And we may end up to reach there, someone will be chosen to be the leader of the opposition, the candidate for the opposition, without any program for the country. Somehow, you leaders of the Congo, you political leaders on both sides, majority, presidential majority and opposition, you are the one who have been killing the people of the Congo. You are the one who have been contributing for the country to be looted. You are the one who have been contributing for people to be killed day and night because somehow your decisions are not right decisions. Somehow you do what you want for your own interest and you forget most of the time the interest of the population. And that leads us to a disaster. Thank you very much for watching us. Our Congo will remain one. Our Congo will stay united. Our Congo will continue to be unified with love and with one voice. My little contribution, your little contribution, my little actions and your little actions with faith and prayer will defeat Kabila. Kabila won't stand there forever. Kabila won't be there for eternity. His time has arrived. He has to go. He has to go. As I say, it's like someone who is in a coma, you know? Someone who is very sick in coma. And they just keep him living with the machine, you know? Trying to give him the power or the capacity to breathe so that people can say he's alive, but he's already dead. Whenever you disconnect the machine, that we call life machine or safe machine or life safe, whenever you disconnect it, then he will end up in a coffin. And Kabila is already dead. Dead not only morally, but also psychologically, politically, physically. He won't make it. Accept or not, the future will tell us. So why you people who are those machines, you continue to supply oxygen to him while he's already dead? He's in a coma. He doesn't even know what he's doing. He doesn't even understand what is happening around him. Why to keep him in power? Why to keep a dead body in power? And you believe that, okay, he's your leader. That's more than stupidity, isn't it? So you people of the majority, presidential majority, you people of FCC, you people of the opposition, what you are doing is not fair to the population of the Congo. May God bless the Congo. Thank you very much. And I'll talk to you next time. Goodbye for now.